Alrighty, so welcome to this training, this little guide where I'm going to kind of explain how to set up and structure your Facebook ad campaigns for most businesses in the world. Okay, so as you can see right now, I'll just show you proof of the pudding. I've got about 37 website schedules with $1,000 spent. The first few ads are actually running really bad. As you can see, $70, $52 cost per book call. But after I made some tweaks, I'm now getting $8, $27, $23, $27, $5 cost per book calls, which is absolutely insane if you didn't know. Okay, and just show you some of the metrics over here. CTR all 5, 2, 3, 4, 5%, all good metrics. Link CTR 2.3, 1, 1.6, 1.4, 3.8. So all really good metrics here, right? Really happy with this. A lot of good link clicks. And my landing page is converting at, I think, around 10%, which is solid. So that being said, I'm going to show you actually how I set up this campaign and how I would set up other campaigns moving forward. So first, I just want to explain something, okay? Before you even go to set up a campaign, you need to have a Facebook page, because otherwise you can't run the ads. You can also connect this to your IG account so you can run ads on Facebook and on IG. You need to set up a pixel, which is super, super easy. You just go to here. Where is it? Well, I think this is in the way. Haha. So if you go to all tools and then you go to wherever the fuck it's Events Manager, you can go set up right here. Boom. Go set up your pixel. Okay, so go do that. Okay. Anyways, once you've done that, set up your Facebook page. You set up your pixel. You have to get access, right, to your ad account. So maybe you have to make a new ad account, or maybe you have to get access to an ad account. Once you've done this, set up billing, and if I'm not mistaken, you should be good to go to start creating your campaign. So once you get to that point, it's time to start creating your campaign. So we're gonna head over to campaign. Okay, and you all want to do this in the Ads Manager. Do not create campaigns elsewhere. You want to create them in the actual Ads Manager, like in here. Don't create them anywhere else. That's stupid, okay? So you press create, okay? It's going to ask you, what do you want to do? Well, this depends on what your goal is. For most businesses, for most service-based businesses, you're going to want leads. Okay, you don't want engagement, you don't want traffic, you don't want to do awareness campaigns, you don't want to do app promotion, you don't want to do sales, even though it's like, well, you think like, oh, I want to do sales. This is really only good for e-com. We're not in e-com, we want leads, okay? We want people to talk to because we run a service-based business. Here it's going to ask you, do you want to do a tailored leads campaign or manual? Always manual. I want to set up everything myself so I can have full control, okay? So that's going to ask you to name your campaign, right? You're going to name your campaign like, one-on-one mentoring campaign, right? Whatever the case is, okay? Call it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. Okay, we'll just leave it at this. Special ad categories. If you're at a special ad category, you have to declare that. Housing, employment, financial, or social issues. Most of you will never be running ads for this. You don't have to worry about it. If you do your specific research to make sure you're categorizing your ad correctly. I'm moving fast here, okay? Anyways, here, campaign type details, buying auction, this is fine. Campaign lead objection, leads. We just talked about this, okay? Advantage, campaign budget. I'm going to have this off. We can talk about this more later. But after this, you're done on the first page. You can move right on to the next page where we're going to be creating the ad set. Now, I want to go back here. How a Facebook ad campaign works is you have one campaign, which is like the overhaul, like this is like where everything is under. Under this, you're going to create multiple different ad sets, and you're going to create one ad set per ad. And I'll tell you why we do this in a second, but let's say if you're going to create three, let's say if you want to create 3 ads, then you would create 3 ad sets, okay? Very simple. And you're just going to make one initially, and then you can just duplicate this one so they're all the same. Because the reason why we're doing this is if we put multiple ads in one ad set, what Facebook will do, because it's trying to be smart, is it's going to go, oh, this ad is performing the best. Let's put all the budget to this ad. And therefore, this ad will get all the budget, and these ones won't. The problem is Facebook typically decides this way too early, and so you never can truly split test. So the only way to truly split test, if you have, and once again, you're going to put your budget at an ad set level, so put it here, is to put one ad per ad set, right? So $10 per ad set, and you have one ad per ad set, for example, right? Then it would be spending $10 an ad. So you can see after, 5-7 days, which ad is actually performing the best. So that's how we're going to structure our campaign, okay? Anyways, we want to name our ad sets. And what you want to name it on is basically what the ad set is about, what the interest is, and then who you're targeting, right? So for example, you would typically name it after you do all this stuff, but let's just say mentoring ad, right? We can put a little thing here, 18 to 30, agency, interest, and males. Right, so that way all the interest I'm doing I want to add here, so when I look back I know what was this ad about, what was this ad set about, okay? Anyways, let's move down and kind of go one by one. So conversion location, where do you want to convert? So typically you're only going to do one of two, which is either website or instant forms, okay? Either you're going to use Facebook instant forms as your conversion mechanism or a website, which is where you're going to connect your website aka your landing page, which you can do later, and that's where you'll be collecting your leads from, okay? If you're doing a website, you have to have a pixel. If you're not doing a website, if you're doing instant forms, you can just leave it on here, okay? Facebook will track this automatically, alrighty? Performance goal, max number of conversions, that's totally fine, okay? Data set, this is your pixel. I already have a pixel. Once again, if you don't have a pixel, you go here and you just go create a new data set and you create a new pixel. And all you do is copy and paste the code into the landing page that you've made, wait for it to render, and then select what you want as your conversion mechanism. For example, like, hey, when the person clicks on this button, they're a lead. When they click that button, they're a schedule, just so Facebook knows what the actual conversion event is, okay? So conversion event, once again, what is your conversion event, right? So schedule, contact, find lead, location, so it depends. What are you doing, right? I'm running straight to a calendar, so I'm tracking schedules. If you're doing lead forms, you'll do leads. So we can just do leads, right? And then once again, my pixel isn't tracking leads, so it won't do that. So I'm going to go here and press schedule, and it is tracking. As you can see, it doesn't go yellow. It's all happy. It's going to track schedules. Cost per goal, you don't have to do that. That's fine. Dynamic creative, you can leave this off. Budget and schedule. So here is how much you want to spend per ad set, or in our case, since we're doing one ad per ad set, per ad, right? So you can do whatever you want, right? 10, 20, it's however much you want to spend per ad. So if you want to spend $60 a day and you're doing 3 ads, well, then obviously you would do $20 per ad set, because there's one ad needs ad set, and that would be 3. Okay, so you can do whatever you want, right? Start off with $20 a day per ad set, perfectly fine. Okay, start date, you can leave this, doesn't matter. This doesn't matter at all. Budget scheduling, increase your budget during specific time periods. No, leave this. Okay, audience controls. So here is where see audience controls and advertising settings is where it has you have to click this. Okay, and where you can start to select the audience you want to work with, right? So include locations. So here, it's just defaulted to Canada. I want to target more than just Canada. And so let's go here. You can type in, I want to target the United Kingdom. I also want to target United States of America. Right, so where is United States of America? United States. Boom, United States of America. Okay, so you want to select as all the regions that you want to target, right? So if you want to do Canada, UK, United States, boom, you would do this, okay? Minimum age, right, you can edit this, is 18. We're going to do a bit more advanced stuff in a second here anyway, so this doesn't really matter that much, but just to give you an idea of kind of what you're doing here. And this just depends on where you want to target, right? If you just want to target a city, you would obviously get rid of all these 3 and then just target the city that you're targeting in, okay? Exclude these custom audiences. So there's no custom audiences, and if you can see here, where's the edit button? It won't show me any languages. We don't want to do languages. But if you go down here, boom, you'll see this button. This is why I said this doesn't really matter. Switch to original audience options. You want to click this, okay? You want to use original audience, because what this will allow you to do is use the original audience settings that Facebook had way back in the day, which gives you way, way, way more control. So as you can see here, okay, we're creating a new audience, right? So Canada, UK, United States, age. See how we can add a max now, right? Maybe you want to do your cap at 30, whatever the case is, 18 to 30. You can't go lower than 18. What? Wow. Apparently you can go lower than 18. I don't recommend doing that, because 13-year-old kids should not be buying your product, okay? Genders, right? You can select the gender now. So we're going to do men. Once again, we talked about we want men, right? If we go up here, 18 to 30, men, interested in agency, okay? So we're going to scroll down here, and this is where we're going to add our interests, right? So let's say we want to target people who have an interest in social media marketing, right? We want to target people who have an interest in agency, right? So advertising agency, right? So do we want to target people who are employed by an advertising agency? Do we want to target people who have an interest of an advertising agency? Well, of course, this one, right? Employers we don't want there to have a job, right? So let's see. And you do this for whatever you want to do for, right? Like if you're targeting dog trainers, right? You would go dog trainer and job title dog trainer. So you just put the interest of the people that you want to target here. Okay, very simple. You can add multiple interest, right? Like this, you can do broad targeting. That's also a strategy people do. But interest targeting just allows you to get a bit more refined to make sure your ad is getting out to the right people for the most part. Okay, define further. This is where you can like really start to add like behaviors and stuff like that to get like really nitty gritty with who you're targeting. I don't usually fuck with that too much. You know, usually the Facebook AI will take care of a lot of this actual sort of, like targeting for you. Like it's pretty smart with knowing who your ad should go out to, but that can just help define further. Okay, languages, obviously you can just leave this as all unless you really want it to just be English, and you can do that as well. Run A/B test, no, don't do this. Okay, then you press save this audience. You would title it the audience name, right? So I'm not going to save this because I don't actually want to do this, but you'd save it so you know what this audience is, because that's the audience you're targeting to. So later, if you want to split test, you can split test different audiences, etc. Okay. Now we get to placements. The last thing in the ad set before we move on to the actual ad. If we scroll down here, Advantage plus placements, we can go to edit this. Okay. Always choose manual placements. You want to choose where your ads are going. Always turn off audience, network, and messenger. You're not going to get good conversions from there. And then typically speaking, app insights will already be off. Messages will be off. Search results, I don't want my ads to show up in search results. Okay, in-stream videos, I don't want them to show up in in-stream videos either. People don't convert there. Stories and reels, Facebook, Instagram reels, stories are good. That's fine. And the feed, I typically turn off profile feed, right? Instagram profile feed, Facebook Marketplace. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing housing, maybe keep your ads here. But right column, no one even looks at this. Instagram Explorer, I don't really get, conversions from there. Where you really get conversions is just from the normal feeds, right? From the normal feeds, not the profile feeds, from stories and from reels. And so you can split test this and kind of add a couple more if you want, but that's typically where I see the results coming from, at least for the ads I run. So that's where I want to put my ads. Okay, simple as that. Show more options just to see. You can really get specific on what devices you want to target. Like, you could do iOS devices only if you want to get really into it, and that kind of stuff, but that is not something I would really mess with. So you want to go next. Okay, now you're moving on to the actual ad. Here's what you're going to call the ad, whatever the actual ad is. Let's say if you get your, you have, let's say you're split testing a Canva ad, right? Canva ad 1, and then every time you make a new ad, it'll be Canva ad 2, Canva ad 3, Canva ad 4, 5, 6, etc. Right? You just call this what the actual ad is about. So for example, if you filmed a video of you screaming from an apartment, you would do screaming apartment ad, right? So when you look, you go, oh, that's that ad. How's it performing? Okay, simple as that. Name it whatever the actual ad is going to be. Anyways, manual upload. Okay, so here what you want to do is you want to go upload the actual, get out of this. Okay, you want to upload the actual creative that you're going to be using. You can click manual upload. If I could just, can this get out of here? Remind me later. I don't want to do this. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing me right now. It'll pop up in a second, but we digress. Okay. Here, destination, it's where you want people to go. So when someone clicks on your ad, where do you want them to go? Do you want them? So once again, we selected website, so we have to put a website here. So you would put the website that you linked your pixel to. Otherwise, it's not going to pick up any events. Okay. So you're going to put your website URL here. Okay. Simple as that. Instant form. Once again, we don't want to add that. So you can just leave this unchecked like this because you're not doing them anyway. But you could just do none just to be safe. Okay, simple as that. Add creative, set up creative, image ad, video ad. So you would add your image or your video here, right? So you click video ad, skip this, go here, and you would upload the videos that you want. So for example, I've already uploaded all my ads here, and you would then select the ad you want, click next, and then upload it. Okay, I'm not going to upload it because I don't want to actually launch any ads right now, but that's what you would do. Then for tracking, you just double check to make sure your pixel is installed. Once again, you can see mine's green, it's happy, it's beautiful. Okay, so it's already set up, it's already tracking website events. I don't have to worry about any of this kind of stuff, right? You don't need to select a domain, nothing you need to do for this change. Boom. Okay, URL parameters, if you have parameters, you want to put them in here. Otherwise, the only last thing you will need, and I don't know why it's not showing up yet, would be your copy. And I think I have to upload the ad, so let's do this, right? So let's actually go add an ad. We'll go here, pretend I'm launching this ad. Okay, next. Yes. And then actually here. You can turn this off, and you can turn this off. The text improvements is fine to have on. Everything else I turn off. Done. Upload this ad. So boom, here, primary text and headline. Primary text is your copy, right? So this is the copy. I don't know how to say it. It's copy. Write your copy. This is literally the least important thing. Like it's the thing that matters least. Yabba dabba da, blah 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 blah. Like my copy right now is literally, hey, here's what I'll offer you. Here's my guarantee. Here's my case studies. Now, I don't like writing copy because I like to service my clients, so back to doing that. And it works just fine. So you can get nitty-gritty on your copy. The best way to actually find out what good copy is go to Facebook Ad Library. Search the kind of people that are doing similar things to you. So let's just put this on all, right? So let's say if you're working with dog trainers, right? So dog trainer. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll just go look. Don't look at the ones posted today because they just posted today. They're not that good, right? They've only been running for a little bit. So we want to go to ads that have been running for at least a couple days because obviously they're not, these people probably aren't that smart anyway, but we digress. Let's see if we can find here. Right, so here, if you're working with dog trainers, what's stopping you from having the best possible relation with your dog? Right, boom. You can just copy this, tweak it if you want. Just go find an ad that's winning, and that an ad that you've seen a lot and know is working well. As you can see, all these people suck at writing copy, and that's because copy doesn't really matter as much as people make it out to be. So you can really kind of put whatever. I just kind of reiterate the first thing I write. Actually, one kind of important thing is actually, let me give some sauce here. Let me do this. 5-step killer. You know what? Give me a second. Boom. So here's actually a killer ad checklist for how to write good headlines, copy, etc. So headlines, right? So we're on copy. So with copy, I just like to reiterate what the actual headline is. So whatever my headline is, I'll write it again just so people know what the offer is, right? Because it's the first thing they're going to see. So I want to make sure it's the offer to catch their attention. After that, the first sentence, you want to create curiosity. Does it naturally flow from the headline? Does it get right to the benefit of the reader? Does it almost force them to read the next sentence? Does it talk about the benefits of the reader? This is important. Is you one of the first words, right? So these are just some tips in writing good copy. Here's some good tips in writing good body copy. And then here's a good 5-step framework for writing good copy for a flow. And then also, boom, here's some tips for how to write good headlines, right? Does it feature your product service biggest benefit to the customers? Is it a grabber? Does it provoke emotion? Does it use potent headline starters that are unique? Is it bigger font size than your body copy? This is more for like newsletter stuff, right? Facebook obviously makes the headline bigger and whatnot. Is it powerful enough to get people to stop and want to read more? Does it make an offer? Is it authoritative, not wimpy? Is the headline and initial caps like that sentence once? Okay, so those are some kind of things for how to make sure you actually have good copy. So once again, none of these people follow those rules because they're all fucking stupid, so don't listen to anything they do. Anyways, back to here. So if you want to write good copy, let's say if you're doing my offer, right? Let's just do agency owners. I will sign you your next client in under 7 days by building you your own in-house cold call team. And then like you just go on with your copy. Yes, you heard that right. It sounds crazy, but I not only talk the talk, I walk the walk. Check out these. And then I'll just give case studies, right? Like John, who made $17K in 89 days. And then boom, just case study, right? After case study after case study. And I would say, so if you want, and I would repeat the offer again, click learn more below. Simple. Like, don't overcomplicate the copy, okay? After you've written your copy, which is literally this, you're going to write your headline, okay? Your headline is your offer. So once again, let's say if my offer is this, I want to make this a bit shorter and a bit sexier. So I would just say sign your next SMA client in 7 days, right? So that's my offer. Boom, I made them an offer. This is pretty solid. This is pretty sexy. This goes a bit more in detail on it. Once again, this is actually one of the most important things, which you'll split test a lot as you run ads. The most important thing is creative, and we'll talk about this in a second. The next important thing is the headline. Okay, this is something you want to really dial in and make sure you put a lot of time into. Don't really worry about this. Really worry about this and your creative. This and your creative. Because if you look here, it doesn't even show us, but whatever the case is, your headline and the creative is the first thing people see. So if your headline is weak, you are nada. Okay, call to action, learn more is almost always solid. It's just easy to click. It's easy for someone to be like, oh, let me learn more. So it's really easy to say yes, right? Enhancements, we turn those off. Tracking is our pixel. After this, you can go publish. And that's how you set up a campaign. Is exactly like that. Now I'm going to exit out of this because I don't want to set up any of this. Fuck. No, I do not want to publish this. So let me make sure that this is deleted. Whatever, I'll do it later, okay? But let me actually go, no, pause. Okay, we're back. Let me go explain some metrics. So just for context, when you're in the ads manager like this, you want to go to columns, performance, and clicks. That'll show you everything you need to know. Okay, and it'll show you this. It'll delivery. This is important to make sure your ads are actually delivering. Okay, attribution setting doesn't matter. Results, it shows you how many results you've actually got. Reach, how many accounts you've reached doesn't matter. Views doesn't really matter. Frequency, you want to keep this under 2. If it's over 2, it means that people are seeing your ads a ton, which means the same people are seeing it over and over and over. And the odds that they convert after they've seen it 100 times is probably low. So try and keep this below 2. It almost never goes over unless you have a really, really, really small audience. And in that case, what you want to do is something called audience cycling, which is where, maybe you make a campaign for men. When that fatigues, you go target women. And when that fatigues, you go back to men. Or if it really, if your frequency is really high, you can just, tweak your offer and tweak your creative to give it a fresh look and then go from there. Okay, cost per result is just the cost per result that you've set. So once again, I'm tracking website schedule, so it's going to give me the cost per website schedule. Budget is how much budget is in for these ads. Okay, and once again, the reason why we're doing one ad per ad set is if we go to ad sets or ads, you're going to see I have the same results here, right? So here it gives me a bit of a different metric here, but once again, CPM, link clicks is all going to be the same as if I go from ad set to ad, right? So that's why we do this, so it actually gives the same metric. If you put multiple ads in an ad set, your ad data and your ad set data will be different. Okay, we digress. Anyways, CPM just stands for cost per 1,000 impressions. The cost per putting your ad in front of 1,000 people. Okay, so it cost me $56 for this ad to get shown to 1,000 people, right? Very simple, right? You want to keep this. Honestly, this isn't even that good. But once again, the thing that we really care for is your cost per result. And when your cost per result is $8.27, which is absolutely incredible, right? Like for context, I sell something that if you pay in full, it costs $4,500, right? And so if someone comes on the call, let's say I book a call for $8, right, or even $27, right? Let's take $25 to make it easy. I book 4 calls. Let's just assume I have a 50% show up rate. So I book 8 calls, 4 of them show, right? I have a 25% conversion rate. That means I'm going to close 1 client for every 8 calls that I book. If a call costs me $25, that would cost me $200 to close a client. If I'm selling something that costs more than $1,000, it's a 5x ROAS. That's insane. That's really good, right? So that's how you kind of track to make sure your numbers are good. I'm really happy with these numbers, okay? Anyways, link clicks is how many times people clicked on your link, which is your headline, okay? CPC is obviously cost per click, cost per how many clicks. This doesn't really matter, okay? Click-through rate. This is how many times somebody clicked on your actual your headline, right, as expressed as a percentage, right? So if it cost me $56 to get to 1,000 people, right, and 2.3% of those people click my link, that means that it would cost me $56 to get, what is this, 23 people to go on my landing page, right? And so if your landing page converts at 10%, that's 2 people, so that would cost you 2, and they convert it 2 people, that would be, 2 book calls. I'm over explaining this. This doesn't really fucking matter. I'm just trying to show you that, your link click-through rate, you want to be ideally above 2%, right? If you can get above 2%, that's a really good click-through rate. Clicks all just shows you how many clicks all. Once again, sometimes maybe people click on your profile, right, or your headline, whatever the case is. So that'll encapsulate all the clicks outside of just the headline. Okay, CTRL just stands for click-through rate all, right? Which basically this is an indication of how well does your creative stop someone's scroll, right? So you want this number to be over 3%, and if it's over 3%, it's giving us a good indication that our creative is stopping people from scrolling, it's catching their attention, and they're interested in kind of what's going on, right? So benchmark is CTR above 3%. If it's not, fix your creative. CTR link above 2%. If it's not, fix your headline and or your creative. Okay, and then conversion rate you want to be, if you're doing a landing page, above 5 to 10%. Okay, which you can literally figure it out by link clicks or results divided by link clicks. So let's see. Let's check my conversion rate here. So I have got on this ad 4 website schedules, and I have got 15 link clicks. So if we do 4 divided by 15, that's a 26% conversion rate on my landing page, which is absolutely insane. You want to be above 5 to 10%. So really happy with that. That's super solid. Okay. And then the last thing it says here, CPC all, we don't really care about this. Okay. So that is how you structure a Facebook ad campaign. That is how you set it up. That is how you identify the metrics, how you see what's kind of going wrong. But the most important thing, and the thing I didn't really touch on, is the most important thing when running Facebook ads is not the setup, right? It's not your audience, okay? It's not how you set up your campaign, right? It's not your budget. It's not when you launch the ads. It's 2 things, okay? It's not any of this. It's literally 2 things. And those 2 things are this. Good offer, good creative. If you have a good offer and a good creative, no matter, it doesn't matter what kind of media buying strategy you have, you will be fine, right? Which is why for ads, I apply the 80-20 rule, right? Which is that 80% of my time goes to making a good ad and a good creative and a good offer. 20% of my time goes to media buying, okay? right? And, 20, maybe this is tweaking my landing page, whatever the case is. But if you have a good offer and a good creative, that will be like, you can't out media buy a shitty ad. Brian Moncado said it, one of the biggest, media buyers for YouTube, runs Charlie Morgan's ads and a bunch of other people's ads. He even said it. You can't out media buy a shitty ad. All right, if you have a shitty ad, it's going to perform bad. It doesn't matter how good you are at the technical side of things. And so the most important thing when actually building an ad is that you focus on this. Make a good offer, make a good creative, right? Do something unique, right? Stand out, right? Do something that makes people want to click. Make an offer so good that people are like, damn, I need to check this out. Okay? And then one big tip to increase your landing page conversion rate, one word. Congruency. I'm not going to write it out. Okay? But congruency. Right? If you say on your ad, right, sign a client in 7 days, make sure that on the landing page it says that exact same thing. Sign a client in 7 days, click here. Right? If you say sign a client in 7 days and you talk about work with me, right, to scale your agency, blah, 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 people are like, what the fuck? Right? They clicked for one reason and one reason only, which is the offer you made. So make sure that the offer you make in the ad, make sure that the offer you make in the headline, make sure that the offer you make in the copy, make sure the offer you make, while you're saying the video, whatever the case is, make sure that the offer you make on landing page is all the same. Congruency, congruency, congruency. Keep it the same. Right? Make sure people know what they're getting. That's how you increase your landing page. Another big thing with increasing landing page conversion is to decrease friction, right? So right now, if you're getting a really low conversion rate, first I make sure your congruency is high. And if it is high, I look at, well, how much friction is there, right? Do people have to jump through 1 hoop, 2 hoop, 3 hoop, 4 hoop, 5 hoop, 6 hoop to book a call? Or do they just go from the first hoop to the second hoop and they book a call here? Right, if you can decrease the friction, you'll book more calls. The less effort someone has to take, the more calls you'll book. Now, granted, by nature, that means lower lead quality, right? So that's a kind of game you have to play. But once again, most people struggle with they don't have enough leads, enough book calls. So decrease the friction, remove all the problems from them booking. Okay. Other than that, that is like an entire Facebook ad guide, like A to Z. How to set the ads, how to structure the ads, what to focus on. And once again, the biggest thing with ads is testing, right? I'm launching new ads every single week, right? So all I do, just to show you how this works, right? These ads weren't performing well, but this ad was. And so all I did is I pressed duplicate on this ad. I duplicated the ad, however many times you want to duplicate it. And then I just added new creatives and just split tested the new creatives, right? And at the end of this week, I'm going to go in, all right? I'm going to go look at all the results. Okay, I'll set it to, I won't set it to maximum. I'll set it to, like last 7 days, whatever the case may be, right? And what I'll do is I'll just simply go look, which one has the worst results. Like, oh, let's say, for example, this one. Wow, this one's terrible results. Okay, turn this off. This one has really good results. Okay, cool. Duplicate this and test out new creatives, right? Or new headlines if that's what I'm testing. And then from there, you just keep testing and scaling and testing and scaling and testing and scaling, okay? And you can scale your ads one of two ways. One, duplicate the ad set a bunch more times. Or two, increase the budget by 10 to 20% per day by actually editing the ad set. Both work. You just have to find what works better for your market. Boom. That's some sauce. Hope you enjoyed.